Okay guys, one of the boys on Facebook, who I'm going to tag on this video when I posted it, asked me why am I basically in disagreement with Palmer's. Palmer's is the most conclusive book that has ever been written. But it was written as, this is the Bible, this is the truth, this is what we know, and this is what happened. Do you understand the importance of that? It's written so people can go, wow, that's the truth and that's the way. If it ain't in there, it didn't happen. That's what people take away from it. And the problem is, he left most of it out. Problem, huge fucking problem. Huge, giant fucking problem. And the bigger problem is this. The invoices that I dug up when I got in an argument over this motorcycle, he had access to. He didn't want to know about them. No, don't even worry about sending me copies. I'm good. Didn't even want to know about them. Because he didn't want the truth. The truth is, we don't know. It's still a discovery. Why don't we know? Because nobody cared. This is 2017. When this bike was built, it was 77 years ago. Okay? So that means we just got out of the Civil War, guys. 77 years prior to when this bike was built. That's what 77 years is. Do you understand how important that is? When this motorcycle here came out in Greg Field's book in 1997, through the 90s, not only the 80s, not only the 80s and the 70s, through the 90s, original paint knuckles like this were being exported all over the world. Thousands of them to Japan, hundreds, maybe thousands to Europe. Nobody cared about original paint. They wanted the original knuckles in Japan so they could chop them. That's what the fuck they were doing. They were chopping the motorcycles because they wanted an original knucklehead to chop. And the few lucky ones got restored. Nobody cared. They all got destroyed. The Americans, oh man, it's got a scratch on the front fender. We got to make that pretty. And they were restoring them as fast as they could get their hands on them. That bike stopped it. That's why it's famous. That bike stopped it. And they're still restoring this stuff today. And that's why these bikes are rare. This is why Palmer's is so important and yet so ludicrous in that it was written to begin with. He has done such a disservice to the industry. It's as bad as the AMCA in the 90s going, well, gee, if it isn't in the show catalog, it didn't exist. Because they wanted to be the important guy who knew everything, and they were so full of hogwash, it's not even funny. And they let beautiful bikes like this get restored because that couldn't have happened that way. Couldn't have happened that way. I've heard it out of their own mouths. Couldn't have happened that way. And that kind of stuff, denying history, denying the truth, pisses me off. That's why I've spent countless hours of my time and money, okay, to make these videos to try and educate people to the truth and find out the truth for myself so I can share it. That's all this is about. Let's find out. I want to know the truth. I don't want to know because so-and-so said. I want to know the real. So we're going to show you the real. If you want to argue against me, and go, oh, there's people still saying this bike's a repaint. I'm going to call them out. Lloyd Benson says it's a repaint on Facebook. Really, Lloyd? There was hundreds of people bidding on this bike, over the phone, at the auction. Why? Because it's a pile of crap, repaint? There's a man still got the original invoice. Wayne Pierce traded this bike in 1971. I just got a call the other day. 1971, he allows $550 on a $50 motorcycle. He's in the country, it's only worth 50 bucks. $550 over retail on a trade-in on a new Sportster because he wants this bike because he must have known about it. It's the only way that had happened. But if you think it's a repaint, put your fucking money where your mouth is, pal. I'll put the title up. Let's go. Put $160,000 on the table. I win, I get your money. You win, you get the bike. How's that? Shut up or else. That's it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Put up or shut up. Let's go, because this bike can be tested. This paint can be tested. When it came out of the gun, it can be tested that it's real. There's the technology to do it. So put up or shut up. End the story. So let's go look at some real fucking documentation. Not Palmer's want to make-believe. You know where you get this fucking story from? You got it from Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes, who was there when all this shit was fucking made. He knows everything about these bikes. What a fucking asshole. Okay, here's the real. Here's the real. Here's the real. If you don't believe this shit is real, put the money out. These are real, actual Harley-Davidson paperwork right here. This can be tested. It can be dated. It can be authenticated. Period. End of story. So, you know how authentic Harley paint was? Let's read the letter. Let's read the letter. Pittsburgh plate glass package truck specifications for 1941. This was the largest plate glass company in the country at the time. It's from Harley-Davidson Motor Company. It says right here, these units are to be painted the special Pittsburgh yellow with Pittsburgh red. Wheel rims, they supply us the enamel. There's considerable lettering on each special M body according to their specifications. The lettering is in black and red. This special M body is 22 deep with a cover. And it says on the top, the following is itemized equipment group with enameling and lettering specification for the Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company, Harley-Davidson Commercial Unit. Okay? Boom. What part of customer supplied us the enamel? Customer supplied paint. Whatever color you want. They got their paint from DuPont, lacquer, or enamel, which was any color in the rainbow. And that wasn't even good enough for them people. They wanted to supply their own paint. These are actual invoices. This is to Harry Molinar. Boom. Maroon and cream. Oh, I changed my mind. I want it the other way. Sketch. Gold striping. As per sketch. Custom graphic paint. Base parts are now maroon. They crossed it off. They pulled it in the back, and now we got a new paint job at $17.25 for a 41 FL. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's people who doubted that invoice. The fucking bike exists. The bike still exists in the original family. Put up or shut up, pal. Let's fucking go. Let's go right now. You want to argue with me against Harley-Davidson's old literature? Fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Okay, now, here we go. Hollywood green. Hollywood green. 38 only color. Really? Really? Okay, on a 39 EL. Well, what do you think that little beautiful bike is there? Hollywood green. Hello? Hello? I have the original catalog, but this is a beautiful reproduction. These are all the standard colors that you could buy. Standard, not even special stuff. And guess what? Look at all these. There's Sherwood green, there's Verdant green, there's Hollywood green, there's Cruiser green, there's olive green, there's Nile green. Really? That's it, huh? Ooh, you sure? You sure? That's it. Wow, okay. That's a 41 buck, remember? 41 accessory card. Whoa, here's Harley-Davidson's own letter. Bam! March 17th, 1941. To Harry Molinar. Dear Harry. Now Harry was one of the high-powered dealers, guys. He was one of the high-powered dealers. He got an experimental stuff all the time for Harley and experimented on it. He had a couple of the TA trikes. I mean, all the really cool shit they sent to Harry. Let's find out what it is. So he got what he wanted. In answer to your letter of March, we are enclosing color samples of dark fairway green, light ranger green. That's not in the book. That means it's DuPont colors, which will be used on order 49 or order 18125 instead of the Sherwood green, which is standard, and grass green, which is not standard. And here they are, the actual paint samples right there with the letter. Okay, and here's the order for blank here. The Harry Molinar filled out. Okay. Chrome front and rear safety guards. Dark green running gear. Not sure exactly what that is yet. Diamond panels on fenders. Tank panel as per sketch. As per sketch. Graphic paint. You want your wife's face on the tank? We'll do it. We're just going to charge you money. And here's another one. Here's a 1939 EL. Look at this. This is to Frank Hennon. Not a high-powered dealer. Ivory blue, as per instructions. Frame, forks, ivory, chain guards, rim, oil tank, toolbox, rear stand blue, blue panels on tank and guards. Custom order, custom order, custom order. Rule of the day. You got money, we're going to sell it to you. No, let's go look at something else. Let's go look at something else. The most accurate count we have of production numbers is from the Legend Begins, Harley-Davidson's own paperwork. It says right here, 1941, we have 5,149 production of overhead valve twins, big and small, in 41. Really? Is that accurate? You sure? Well, there's 41 F valve 5935 with short rib cases. Well, let's take a look at what else we got. And we just found this out the other day. Well, here's a belly number of 416239. Now, we know for a fact they made cases the year before. They were already making the next year's bikes the year before because production started in September for 42 models of 1941. You follow? So that's not a surprise. But what's it off of? What's it off of? Okay, there's 41 FL 61 and something something with a long rib case. And if you look at that, see the less meat there? And see how it's got lines through the motors? Well, that's a 4243 case. It's not a late case. It's a 4243 case. That's under the production numbers, but guess what? That's what those belly numbers belong to this beautiful bike right here, 41E6200. Okay? 6200. Production starts with 1001. So 5149 made, okay, should give us 6149, except this is 6200, and this is in the right 42 case. See the lines on there? I can see it right now. That's what that is. Right? That is correct. That is absolutely correct. That's the way they made them. So we have a minimum of 52 units over the Legend Begins. I suspect that is true with every year. We don't know yet. We're still trying to determine. But this is actual, factual proof. You cannot argue it. And it's got a May. See that? E1 that was built in May. Well, they're making this stuff ahead of time. You got to understand, a casting from the foundry is when it was casted. Well, when was it machined, and when was it put on the motorcycle? We've got original paint frames in Europe that are 3940 frames with 37 rear casting lugs on the frame, on the axles. Right? They sent all the mistakes over to Europe, South America, wherever. Well, Harley made it. Hello? And it doesn't jive with Palmer's. Palmer's book starts out with the most important thing on your restoration is the correct frame. And according to original surviving invoices, the casting numbers are blah, 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 blah. Well, he just blew the entire book out of the water because that's not on the invoices. He would have known that if he'd accepted copies of these invoices, but he didn't even want to hear it. That's how accurate Palmer's book is not. That's why I got a problem with it, because everybody thinks it's a freaking Bible, and he wrote it to be like a Bible, and it's not. It is smoke and mirrors with some truth. Yes, indeed. Gee, there's the tank badge, and that's what a real tank badge looks like. Oh, great, wow. Okay, a lot of that stuff is real, and some of it ain't. And there's too much of it that isn't. So a guy who wants to know something because he doesn't know anything, if he doesn't have a tremendous amount of knowledge like what I have, you ain't going to figure it out. And we're still trying to decipher it. The guys that have the knowledge like I do, guess what? I call one of them, or they call me and go, hey man, could you check your bike and see if it's got this and this and this? Hey man, do you got one of those? Can you check the striping for me? I get calls like that all the time. Unfortunately, I only got 7 little bikes here. So there's a limit to how much I know. But these 7 little bikes caused 352 invoices to come out of the woodwork and be presented to the world, and it completely upset every fucking thing we know about these motorcycles. Do you understand? If I had, say, 200 here and I had several thousand invoices, what we'd learn? Oh my God, because nobody else in their right fucking mind is going to take the time and the effort that I have and present this to the world for free. So again, if any of you fools out there in La La Land want to argue with me about any of these bikes being original paint, put your fucking money on the table. Shut up, put up, let's go. Bye-bye.